Hi everyone, I am back and today we have our NCP Summer Slam Round 1 against Sally Mumble, coach of the Austin Tauros. So I'll see that's maybe something special. Normally I was instead of doing the match live, but because I'm seeing my early days of YouTube setup, I wasn't able to record on my own, so I asked it for help. Yep, as you guys should know, I asked Olivia to do it for me, but she didn't show in time, so I asked Josh Ultraplay to help me instead, and luckily he was able to do it to help me for that plan. So everything was set up. S- he set up for record and everything, but there was a problem on the way. First up, we have some internet issue, and I wasn't, even though it was sharing a screen, I wasn't able to see anything like at all. So he said he needed to describe anything that was happening, making our life harder. And also, he forgot to record the first half of the match, which, well, instead he needed to recreate with Liv the first part, which will be very different as you guys will see. But eh, well, you can guess it was pretty much hard for me. Explain why I needed to have a bit more time, but real really big sense to them anyway. Like I would have been able to record it anyway, even through that, and they were the kindness to recreate the first half of the match, even though it wasn't necessarily like it was. So really big thanks to them. So, versus Sally Mumble. As you remember, our drive was set of Garchomp, Raikou, Bronzong, Roserade, Buzzwole, Vaporeon, Malamar, and Torkoal. Sally's draft was composed of Weavile, Dragonite, Celesteela, Clefable, Whimsicott, Gastrodon, and Kangaskhan, and Kadabra. So I'm gonna jump into the team preview. So originally, Sally brought was to be boost drag. We have Dragonite, Weavile, Celesteela, Clefable, Gastrodon, and Wizzycut. Benched Kadabra and Kangaskhan. For me, it makes sense that Sally bench Kangaskhan. I know Kadabra isn't the best thing in the world, but I could have there could have been a spot for it, that's for sure. But when they got in over it makes also a lot of sense. So for our team, we brought the Torkoal that we got up with the leftovers. Wait, and moves were Flamethrower, Solar Beam, Yawn, and Rapid Spin. Pretty standard. We were also pretty offensive on it because Torkoal is pretty decent in that role. There's Dragonite, but uh, to prevent it from sweeping, we have Yawn for that occasion. Buzzwole with the Rocky Helmet, your Max Fizz Def with Drain Punch, Roost, Iron Headed Ice Punch, also pretty standard. Because that's the only thing that can withstand Weavile in my draft. If it falls, Weavile became the huge threat of it because I have nothing else to outspeed it. Didn't bring a single choice scarf. Bronzong with Heat Proof ability. Yeah, I should also say that Torkoal is Drought and Buzzwole is Beast Boost. Bronzong is Heat Proof instead of Levitate. With the Iron Ball, also special. Iron Head, Stealth Rock, Toxic, and Trick. Originally, the plan was to bait in Celesteela with the tricks that it became susceptible to Earthquake from Garchomp, while being able to Telephros and cripple the other walls that gets around with Toxic. Ironhead does more to Clefable than Gyro Ball, and I made sure that I calculated with also Mint Speed on Bronzong. Even through that, Ironhead was still the stronger option. Next up, we have Garchomp, which the name was a bit too long to fit. Normally, it was supposed to be Shield Breaker, instead, it went to Shield Break. With a Rosalie Berry, we have Earthquake, Iron Head, Sword Dance, and Scale Shot. Also pretty basic. I'm pretty sure I could have went with with Fire Fang over Iron Head. Now that think about it, because Earthquake is already strong enough for Clefable. But originally, I just wanted the potential flinch versus Clef, just in case, because we take his hits easily with the Resolvability. Next, yeah, yeah, like that. We have a very bulky Vaporeon with leftovers, but not the wish support set. We are Ice Beam, Substitute, Work Up, Toxic. Pre- can pretty much, at least you can really be annoying for Sally, because you can just break. The only thing that will withstand to it would be Magic Guard, Command, Clefable. But for that, we have Bronzong, we have Torkoal, even Garchomp. But I cannot switch Garchomp in, but at least he can do enough damage while being able to survive the hit. And then lastly, we have Malamar. Also with leftovers, we are basically almost max special defense with knockoff superpower, Psycho Cock, and Psycho Cut. I mean, and Taunt. Originally, I was topsy turvy in case, well, especially Calm Mind Clefable, but went with Taunt because it beats standard Celesteela better. So yeah, that was the team. So gonna set up in the match. Uh, So I lead it with Torkoal, where Sally lead it with Clefable. Well, I didn't know what he was about to do. Maybe set up rocks, or just, for me, it was probably just to set up rocks. So I was just click yawn to have the advantage on that, so I can spin after that. Instead, he went for Calm Mind, which now you can see that what I was fearing the most did actually come. So I'm only yawn. Then I go into Bronzong, because even if Flame Towers, well, in the sun, I still improve, so I can still chew the hit. Instead, I switch out. So also could have been predicted for Gastrodon. For me, even though it's not the best, Bronzong, yeah, Sally doesn't know that I'm not levitate, so I can just say that, oh, he's immune to ground and he has a stun, so Skull won't do any damage at all. So for me, I just use that opportunity to set up rocks. Yeah. Also, he revealed to be also young, just like my Torkoal. Funny that in some way we have a mon that have almost the same strat. For me, that's funny. So yeah, I got my rocks back up. Then yeah, after that I switch into Vaporeon, because, oh, sorry, I didn't think he would have gone for Toxic here. And again, he doesn't necessarily know that I'm not levitate, so I get this opportunity to sell Vaporeon. He knew, he just spammed yawn after I switch, and I was like, maybe I could get this sleep on Vaporeon. I could be fine with that because of my set. So yeah, I stayed normally, and I went for substitute, because Gastrodon, unless he's really offensive on the offensive, he doesn't break my sub, either with Earthquake or Earth Power. And as you guys will see, yeah, again, the sub doesn't break, so this can save me some turns of the yawn. Yeah, so now I'm asleep. Here is just I just guaranteed turn of sleep, so I just burn out with anything that I can. So I went with Zincut. I could have made a misplay possible, be- but for me, I was thinking that prankster, so I can just take another turn of sleep out of it. If I would have went more deeply, I could have maybe think of Infiltrator. Luckily, it wasn't, because it was actually choice specs, so offensive. Maybe he should have went with Infiltrator in that case, but glad for me that he didn't, so my Vaporeon didn't get brutally murdered by Energy Ball. Yeah, so of course, I still want to keep my Vaporeon since he's asleep. So with a sleep class, well, there's no sleep class in game, but we have to still respect a sleep class. Gastrodon cannot use Yawn, so I switch out into yeah, Torkoal in case if he goes for something like Leash Seed, then I can spin it. Then it doubles into Clef, so here we are just back at turn one, except that I have rocks and him as my Vaporeon asleep. So I just restart the cycle. I click on, but this time he clicks Moonblast. Sh- But because we're sped up, we take nothing from that. Special attack drop, Bell Fortunate, but anyway, we'll switch on anyway. Otherwise, after his turn, I say actually I stay click Flamethrower. Oh yeah, because he break the no, he's gonna as his multi-scale break, which is good for me. So you only way is that you will need to roast all the damage or get a wish from Clefable to get that multi-scale back on. So for me, I hit any hit. I don't want this thing to set up, so I just click Yawn. I still have nothing on his team asleep, so I can afford that. Also, he is actually special Dragon Knight. So really not what I was thinking here. But as you can see, I get the Yawn off, but in the r- in the regular match that happened, that you're gonna see later, my Torgo actually got Para out of the Thunderbolt. But luckily, I still get the Yawn off on this turn, at least. So I'm not entirely ruined by that. And then yeah, now that's where Jaws edge is record. As you can see, my Torgo is paralyzed. But besides that, now the rest is what you see in the real match. So I wanted to Vaporeon because even though he just like well, if he stays, he's gonna sleep. That's for sure. So I just get this opportunity to wake up Vaporeon at this point. He went to Clefable, and as you know, with the set I asked, well, my Vaporeon is just free setup for it because I don't break it, and he can just set up versus me because my setup move just boosts attack and special attack versus his boost special attack and special defense. So instead, I wanted to Torkoal again because I wanted to keep Bronzong for later. Yeah, and now it's at the Clown Mines. And that's this part is a bit tricky because now I'm para, so I can potentially just fail to get what I need to do. Do Moonblast won't be a 2 KO because of the leftovers recovery, but I get unfortunately paralyzed on this turn. And if I recall, yes, yeah, stay try to get the Yawn again, which he clicked Moonblast for, and at least this time he has another special attack drop, but I get the Yawn this time. Now this side instead of switching, actually I switch. Oh yeah, I did it again. Or actually, no, yeah, I stayed. What did I do? I don't even remember myself. I'm doing postcom as I revised this match for the first time. Yeah, yeah, I stayed instead. Actually, sort of been predicting the Gastrodon this time because of how I was playing the entire time with the early game, and which you know it isn't Gastrodon. So and I don't get paralyzed this time, but because I'm -2 special attack, even though he's not Randoberry, he's gonna survive the Solar Beam. And because well, even though I wasn't, even if I wasn't paralyzed, I would have been naturally slower anyway than Gastrodon. So I just use this opportunity to switch out. Wait, wait, I I went Vaporeon because I knew he would have went for recover on this turn, so I want. Oh no, he went for Earth Power this turn. It will be the next one. I'm pretty sure. Me, if he were about to stay, then I would fire off a Toxic, open waking up this turn. And normally, from what I remember, I should wake up. Okay, no, it would be next turn actually. Too bad. But I know I get a Toxic off at some point on the Gastrodon. It should be this turn, yeah. Oh no. This is why I never remember things. Actually, no, I didn't fire off Toxic. I just fired off another substitute thinking we're about to stay. Why am I taking? Both in real life and during the game. Eh, the future Amel is always better than the past Amel, that's for sure. So this time, now I went to Bronzong on the Clefable. He fires off a Torkoal command, but now Torkoal is not in a good state to risk to go on Clefable. So Bronzong is the is pretty much the only thing that stepped up to it now. It went flamethrower, but because there's no more sun and I improve, I shoot out easily. Fire up an Iron Head, and because it's max fist def, well, it shoot that for sure. I just wanted to make it into a point that it will be forced to recover, so I just click Iron Head again. He just want more calm mind, so it's up again. And here, even though this, I wanted to keep that for Celesteela, at that point, I needed I needed to do it now. I was about to click Trick, thinking it was about to heal. So, by giving him an Iron Bell, he'll get slower than a Bronze Zone, will lose his passive recovery in the leftovers, and Ironhead has not a chance to flinch it as well. But now Garchomp can no longer touch Celesteela. That's the only bad thing about doing that. Maybe I could have just click Ironhead again and again. I could have done that, but really wanted Clef to be out of commission at this point. It was about to become really scary. So I click Ironhead again. It click Flamethrower. Now it's a +2 instead of +1. And I still chewed the hit. And because I got the leftovers out of it, now I have the passive recovery that allows Brozone to withstand Clefable of for a longer time. For me, I just click Iron Head again. Pretty sure he would have switched, but I didn't want to risk him staying for some reason. Yeah, aim with for Gastrodon. Yeah, it'll be this turn yet. Then now I'm gonna give Toxic to Gastrodon. And he just used that opportunity to use Yawn. But now, by being toxic, it cannot just stay and click on forever, which will be good for me in the longer game. So I use this opportunity to switch up back into Vaporeon again. And because now that Clefable lost his lefties, Vaporeon has easier time to set up. He spam Yon again. For me, I don't care. I just switch. Normally, I switch it in here. Yeah, I want to do Malamar because I'm special defensive. If he saves Red Tide, it would be first power, but pretty much sure it was about to switch here to not rack up the poison damage. You need to Whimsicott. Should have taken I would play more because now he has free opportunity just either to attack or just to U-turn because Malamar doesn't withstand both. Well, it can, but not by a lot. So I just went to Bronzong and he click for U-turn, gain the momentum back. And normally this turn he goes Weavile. For me, I only have one play. It's Buzzwole, since it's the only thing that can withstand Weavile in my team. Then he clicks knockoff. Gonna lose my Rocky helmet, but pretty sure that he will be gonna that. Also, Weavile not taking Stealth Rock damage mean that he was boots, so no choice band. So pretty good to know. I knew he was about to switch, so I was like Ice Punch because I said it because I knew he wouldn't stay. Gain some better damage against the Fable. Get a freeze, which is funny because it's funny because Josh is generally the guy that gets frozen on his switch. So the fact that now I get a freeze on his switch is the only thing funny. But that's the only thing with him that I think it's not that the freeze matters anyway because Clef is slower. At this point, I just killed with an Iron Head, which happened. So finally took the first KO of the game. And then it's out Celesteela. And this is the part where I'm gonna suffer. Well, of course, I wanted to keep Boswell alive for Weavile. If I don't, then I'm gonna lose to it. Went to Torkoal a bit as a sacrifice, and then it clicks Autotomize. In my head, I thought it would have been like standard Celestia and not Sweeper, and because of that, I'm gonna get punished for thinking of that. So at this point, yeah, I just knew it set Eclipse Meteor Beam, gets a hit off on Bronzong. I try to save turn versus it. Don't give it a beast boost. But I'll be spoiling this part. I'm just stalling the inevitable. I didn't brought a single thing. For Celesteela, he got the position he needed. He got the switch that he needed to set up. I didn't brought a move to prevent that setup. Like, as also remember when I said in the team building that I was stunned in every place. I also get flamed, but doesn't matter because I've been run frozen under the sun. Flaming my only hope at this point, but you have been solo to get it anyway. So yeah, about my armor, I said drop topsy turvy 4 taunt. If I would have kept topsy turvy, then it would have mattered anyway. It would have mattered anymore. My armor could have withstand Celestia as long as it doesn't get flished by air slash, and I could have transformed his boost into debuffs. Unfortunately, well. So the lesson here is not to change what you originally have most of the time. Is to not to drop, yeah, not to change your signature move for another move. Yeah, that's the lesson here. But yeah, at this point, I cannot do anything. It's just a Celestia sweep for the rest of the match. Everything drops, nothing withstand it. And pretty unfortunate to drop round one for sure, but due to the time, like I said, he got he positioned Celestia like he needed to get the sweep on. It's my fault to not bring the set needed for this situation. So does it mean that it's the end of NCP of the run or Summer Slam for me? Yes. Does it mean that it is the end of some of NCP videos? Actually, no, because for the people that were making content and got eliminated round one, and also for the other people that got eliminated round one and not necessarily do content, now they a losers bracket. And OG Albina, one of the commissioner, put a little $10 for the winner. So, and of course, I put myself in it. And of course, I'm still gonna do content about it. And for round one, I got faced up against, if I remember the name, Awesome Cause. I hope I don't butcher his name. But well, yeah, we're gonna fight in the losers bracket. And also, near the end of the both brackets, there'll also be fun match we're gonna do against other coaches because well we have those drafts we want to use those at the mode that we want. So yeah, I hope you're at least glad that NCP is not necessarily over in terms of content for me, and I'm gonna show you those match when we're gonna do them. So see you guys later. If I can. Ah.